And hello traders, and welcome to another video. So in this video we are going to talk about how I took advantage of the new strategy refinement double confirmation entry, and I managed to pass my verification. So I already told you guys I waited for almost 3 months to pass a verification in a single trade, literally. So I passed the verification on challenge on 20ish of June, and then I passed the verification on 20ish of September. So basically 3 months I didn't open any trade. It was 200k challenge. Basically I didn't open any single trade for 3 months, and then I executed this on GJ. So I know that a lot of you guys were executing this on 1 hour time frame, but I was not executing the 1 hour time frame. I executed the trade on lower time frame. So this video is gonna be again a little bit of more of lower time frame execution, and yeah, what I did and why I did open trade and how I executed based on double confirmation entry, new double confirmation entry. So we already done a tons of analysis of this trade. We already did tons of breakdowns of this trade. So I'm gonna do it again. So basically the price action was going this uptrend, big rejection to the upside. Price started to melt down to the downside. As you can see, we made this first. This was first change of character, but this was and this was this break of this major lows from this ascending trend, and this was our confirmation that price was really telling us that starting to go to the downside, and the direction was most likely going to continue the downside. So when we zoom in a little bit on this price action here, you can see that we didn't quite get nice continuation entry. So as you guys know, when we are looking at continuation entries, we want to get involved in impulse, correction, impulse to downside, and then we want to get involved here. But in this case it was not that beautiful, because we did had only one momentum to the downside. We had a reaction. As you guys can see, this was inside bar. I don't know why I do not have inside bars on my chart right now. I have seen it, but this was inside bar, and this was our block. As you can see, we had a reaction from this order block. So basically it was an extra confluence. Not quite nice continuation, because this momentum was it was not same length like this here, not same size, sorry. So it was not quite good continuation, but extra confluence was that we reacted from this order block and pushed the price down. So as you guys can see, we had a big wick. It doesn't matter necessarily on GBPJPY, but even though we respected that wick with this ascending price action to the upside. So right now, what I was thinking is we have our order block here marked, okay? And what I was looking at, guys, is this aggressive pullback to the upside. So I know that some people in the community didn't took this trade because it was going pretty much aggressively. And of course, I didn't want to execute the first trade on verification like that. I already did the forecast for this trade, and I already told you I would execute it on challenge on verification if I'm 2% up or 2% down, but I would not execute it for the first trade on verification. So extra confluence why I did not execute it as a first trade on verification was this momentum. So we can all agree that momentum coming back in this order block was pretty high and pretty, strong. So for me, I wanted to look at lower time frame execution. So basically, this was a reaction. These two candles was reaction from this order block. And if we jump to lower time frames, I'm gonna show you where I executed this. Let me see. I think it's here. Yeah, this momentum here. So beautiful, really, really beautiful. And again, guys, you know me, I'm trading based on 1 hour time frame, and I'm not executing on lower time frame, only if you have really beautiful chart on lower time frame in 1 minute, only beautiful, I'm gonna then take advantage of it. But I'm skipping lower time frames. You already know me, and you already know how we approach trading on lower time frames. Lower time frames can be risky. You do not have enough time to think. You do not have enough time to forecast. You're gonna have everything is going on pretty fast. Lower time frames are pretty volatile. I mean, all the robots, institutions, big money is on lower time frames, so you're basically trying to beat them in their game, and it is really hard for a trader to trade based on lower time frames. So this is why I'm not over focusing on lower time frames. I'm executing on lower time frames only if I have a beautiful setup. So in this case, 1 hour time frame was pretty much looking nice. It was pretty much looking good. Only bad thing was this aggressive pullback to our order block, so it was a little bit risky. So this is why I decided to look what is happening on lower time frames, and this is what I saw. So as you guys can see, we had this movement to the upside. This was telling us that price is approaching this order block that we have in this ascending price action. It was not that ascending, it was more of the trend, because you can see aggressive impulse. So, you know, we were breaking these highs pretty impulsively, not that correctively. From this point on, we start to see that first rejection on that 1 hour block. As you can see, we again put the new higher high on this chart, and we barely didn't took this order block. And again, we started to break to the downside, and the price was a little bit more in indecision right here when price approached this order block. So it gave us a rejection a few times from this ascending, and then price started to really go sideways. So again, no trading opportunities. Price is not telling us nothing special here. Price is telling us that, you know, it is going sideways, indecision in the market. We do not know what's happening. And then again, a pullback to this level. And as you guys can see, we had another reaction from this order block here. Okay, so this is our 1 minute order block that pushed the price lower. We had a retrace and again pushed the price lower, broke this here. Again, price reacted then from this order block, and this made us move in this correction. So as you guys can see, price reacted from this demand here one time, and then here second time, and it took it out here, but barely. It was still, we can consider it as a reaction. So again, price pushed to the upside, and then when it came to this order block, basically price action left this crazy momentum to the downside. I mean, really crazy, that broke all of this, took all of this liquidity out, broke everything to the downside, broke this ascending price action to the downside, and shows us beautiful reaction and beautiful impulse to the downside. And we pretty much exited, first time that we see that we exited this order block. So this was on 1 hour time frame. This was aggressive approach to our block, and then these two candles, two bearish candles. Basically, this was that move, two bearish candles that rejected this order block. So when we exit this order block, so what we're looking at right now is pullback again to this level to short it to the downside, because again, price traction showed us reaction and breakout to the downside. One bad confluence was that we were testing this order block. So again, testing this order block, but you already know me and how I trade. You know, I'm focusing on price action and what this price action showing me and telling me. Again, you're not gonna have a perfect setup. I mean, let's be realistic. You know, you can find our block here, you can find our block here, you can find our block here, you can find our block here. I mean, if you look at every order block as bad confluence, you know, it can destroy you. Also, the same thing as liquidity and imbalance. Doesn't necessarily mean that price action is gonna feel imbalance immediately. It can range for a few days, for maybe a few weeks even sometimes, and then imbalance gets filled. So, you know, again, extra confluence doesn't mean that it is really something good. It can be also a bad thing. Okay, so I focus on price action. I focus what the price action is telling me. In this situation, 1 hour time frame was beautiful for me, but it was a little bit more aggressive. Again, for the first trade on verification, it was just not for me, and this is why I just wanted to see what is happening on lower time frames, and I was looking at the lower time frames and saw this. And as you guys can see, we barely broke this low. So look at it. As you guys can see, we barely, I mean, for 0.1, we barely took this low. Look at it. So barely taken. Barely taken low. And I was like, I'm not executing this setup because we barely broke the low. And this is when we have done our all of our refinement, we have done all of our statistic, we have done all of our backtesting, and we already knew that we are gonna implement the refinement. I mean, I already announced the refinement long time ago, and then this happened, so I knew it's perfectly okay to trade. This would not be okay to trade prior to refinement, but right now after refinement we can trade this. So basically this is the thing that I'm speaking about. So if we barely break the low and price action is perfect, we're not gonna take it. So this is why in the first place I wanted to refine the strategy. So you're gonna have a high probability trade, everything is gonna be in place, everything is gonna be high probability, but because of this you're not gonna take it. And this is why I started with refinement. So again, advantage of this double confirmation entry is because in this cases it is perfectly okay to execute this. So as you guys can see, I marked my order block, and it was a short position with 4 pip stop loss, yes. And this was not over. Beautiful thing about this was a retest. Look at this. Look at how slowly and beautifully building liquidity to the upside it approaches our order block. Perfectly, I mean perfectly. I mean, for lower time frame, this is something that I'm executing. As you guys can see, it barely touched the entry. Barely touched the entry. We got involved and melt immediately. Sniper entry. It was really sniper entry. It tagged me in on FTMO. Oh, shit, wait. It tagged me in and it was basically finished in a couple of seconds. Couple of minutes, sorry. It was going for 5% and this is where I closed. Okay, so beautiful. This is example of what you should be looking at when you're looking at lower time frames. Okay, so ascending price action, reaction of the order block, reaction of this, movement to the downside, impulsive move to the downside. Of course, 1 hour is high probability. You know, if 1 hour is shit, you cannot trade lower time frames. But again, 1 hour time frame was really beautiful. We had a lot of positive confluence on our side, and then lower time frame was also beautiful. I really loved this momentum to the downside, and then this corrective, really beautiful corrective price action coming back, building liquidity on the way. Look at this, all of this liquidity building to the upside, and then sniper entry, 5%, both closed the trade, finish verification in a single trade. But I waited for 3 months to execute such a perfect trade. Okay, so again guys, I'm not trading lower time frames all the time. I'm staying away from them. But when I have this beautiful thing, like the lower time frames was beautiful here, then I'm executing. I mean, you can go watch every lower time frame that I have executed in past 6 months. You're maybe gonna find 5 or something like that. But all of those 5 trades on lower time frame were really beautiful and really perfect. So I'm not trading aggressively on lower time frames. I'm really focusing on only high probability entries when I want to execute on lower time frames. And the beautiful thing about this trade that it was going and going. So I'm gonna show you right now. The price action just melted to the downside, as you can see. So immediately the rule that we have, when we break the low, this low, we're gonna be on break even. And in this case, it would be after we break this low, because this low was taken and then this was ascending. So after we broke this low, we would be on break even, and the price, and then we're gonna just leave the price and we're just gonna manage it on 1 hour time frame. And there is two ways how you can manage it on 1 hour time frame. So immediately after we make a first break of structure, we make a first boss, we break the low, we're setting our trade on break even, and that's it. Okay, so this is the rule that we have. And then there is two possibilities. Okay, possibility one is to target this 1 hour low, and it would be 41% risk reward trade. So this is the first possibility, or you're managing this trade on 1 hour time frame. So those are the two ways you're going with this trade when you're executing on lower time frames. So either you set your profit target on this low, or you're managing normally like you're managing the trade on 1 hour time frame. So as you guys can see, if you set your take profit on this low, it would be 41%. And if you managed it on lower time frames, it would be here locked 22, and then it would be locked around 41, 42. Again, exact same thing, same thing. Because no, sorry, yeah, I do not know if this was a retrace and this broke first the low or the high. If this candle first did go to the low, broke the low first and then broke the high, then it would be 52%. But if this candle pushed to the upside and then to the downside, then it would be locked 42%. Okay, so really beautiful lower time frame execution on 1 minute time frame. And this is again something that you should be looking at. So again, guys, we are focusing on 1 hour time frame. We are backtesting on 1 hour time frame. We are looking at statistics on 1 hour time frame. We are doing basically a lot of work on a lower time frame, forecasting on a lower time frame, doing everything. 1 hour time frame, forecasting on 1 hour time frame, doing everything on 1 hour time frame. But there are going to be situations where we're gonna have exact same order block in 1 hour, and this order block in 1 hour, I think it was 12% win, but lower time frame execution was perfect, beautiful. So you can take advantage of it also as well. I have a rule that if I am on break even or above break even, I'm executing on lower time frames. If I'm below break even, I'm not executing on lower time frames. But this is only my rule, something that I have in my trade plan. It doesn't necessarily mean that you guys need to do that as well. So again, you need to figure out what is your trade plan. But again, do not eliminate the fact that you can actually execute on lower time frame. Our strategy again has rules on lower time frame, and as you guys know, we only have one bullet when you're executing on lower time frame. So when you know that you only have one bullet, so if you execute on lower time frame and you make minus 1%, that's it. You're totally completely ignoring the price action for that price action, that setup. You already have lost, made minus 1%, that's it. You're moving away. You're not trading anymore on lower time frames. That's the rule, the golden rule that we have. We only have one bullet. So this is gonna help you again, psychology, emotionally. So you are gonna have control when you're trading on lower time frames. And trading on lower time frames can again bring you this much risk reward in one single trade. Because again, 1 hour was really, really nice. We had a bad confluence of this aggressive retest, but this was the two candles that I talked about. This was reaction on lower time frames, price reacting, barely taking the order block, and then boom, this impulse, and then this corrective, beautiful correction coming back to this order block, sniper entry, boom, 41%. Beautiful, really, really nice. So guys, again, do not just focus on 1 hour time frame, because you're gonna have trading opportunities on lower time frames. But again, focus on high probability ones. This was a beautiful high probability trade to take on 1 hour, 1 minute time frame. Again, you do not see me executing lower time frame all the time. You barely see me. Majority of trades, I mean 95% of the trades that I take, they're on 1 hour time frame. But again, if I manage to catch a beautiful setup on 1 minute time frame, I'm gonna take advantage of it. So again, you can also trade in lower time frames, but again, be cautious and be careful because they can be risky. You do not have enough time to think. You do not have enough time to forecast in advance, like we are forecasting in 1 hour, and then we can forecast for like 2-3 hours prior the setup happening, you know, and even forming. You know, we can get prepared. We can check with the trade plan, check emotions, etc., etc. But in lower time frames, you cannot necessarily do that. I know, because they're fast. They're really, really fast. Everything is happening fast. And also you're not going to be able to, you need to be present, you know, with hybrid. The good thing when you're trading on 1 hour time frame is, you know, you set your pending order and that's it. You forget about it. You do not care. You do not need to be on the charts. But on lower time frames, you need to be on the charts. But again, you're just waiting the price to reach your point of interest. When it reaches your point of interest, then you start looking at it. That's it. You do not need to look at the charts for, again, 6 hours. You're just going to wait. And then when price action shows you that it came on 1 minute on this point of interest, then you start to shift and you start to look at a lower time frame execution and what is happening on lower time frames. But again, do not eliminate the fact that you can too also execute with hybrid on lower time frames, because again, you have rules, you have everything, and you know what you need to be looking at when you're executing on lower time frames, guys. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Really, really beautiful trade. Really, really beautiful trade. And yeah, I'm just imagining right now opening the same one on 200k capital. It would be more than $80,000 in profit. That would be really, really beautiful. But yeah, that's basically it for this video, guys. Hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned something new, and yeah, see you in the next one.